Hi, my name's Troy, and I thought I'd give a little account of a U-Haul experience that I just had. So I drove down from Ann Arbor, Michigan to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Normally this is about a 13 and a half, 14 and a half hour drive. The kind of initial goal was to do it in one go, but that did not happen. So we checked out, well, I had initially reserved a 17-foot truck as well as a car tow to bring my car behind us. And well, whenever I got to the U-Haul place and picked up the truck, they gave me a 20-foot truck, so it's a slightly larger truck, but I don't believe that the price had changed, the base price of the truck, so that was fine. That didn't really bother me. I'm perfectly comfortable driving a slightly larger truck, and it gave us a little bit more room to pack things. But once we got the truck back to the house and loaded my car onto the trailer, truck is all packed, car's on the trailer. We just let it sit there overnight. Well, in the morning, we found out that there was a hole in the rear tire. In fact, there were several holes in the rear tire on the tow trailer. So we poured some like soapy water over it to see what bubbles are. And we just called U-Haul's roadside assistance. And they quoted that at about an hour, because they said that either we can patch it ourselves or they can send somebody out. If we patch it ourselves, they can reimburse us, but we didn't want the fault of a faulty tire to be on us. So we waited for that person to show up. About two and a half hours later, they show up, and they don't have any new tires to replace this one, so they just do a patch job. They find several other holes in the tire, and so they end up patching like 3 different places. Put the tire back on, and my brother and I think that they overinflated the tire, and which comes into play in just a second. So fast forward maybe 30 minutes. We're on the road. We have a blowout in that same tire. So once you get going, it warms up, pressure increases. So here's a clip of kind of us driving along and that happening. And so we're a bit perturbed, but we're like, oh well, he did a patch job. Sometimes this just happens. You roll the dice, which is fine. I mean, we've been delayed. Maybe after this one, like roadside comes out and fixes this one, like 4.5 hours, because they take about an hour to get there, and it's about a 20 or so minute fix. Okay, so then we keep going along the road, and the retread on another tire on the main truck comes off. And so yeah, here's another clip of that.
Long enough to make my neighbor turn around in his driveway and wonder what I'm doing. It used to go away completely when it got warm, but now it doesn't really go away, but it kind of changes to a higher pitched noise, and it's not as loud.
They're retreaded tires.
We pull over. I am somewhat perturbed at U-Haul at this point, and had reached out to them on Twitter, and they were actually very responsive on Twitter. On the phone for customer service, they were borderline unapologetic. They were like, "Oh yeah, person's on their way," or "We'll just text you when they're coming." But the one on Twitter was very nice and responsive and filed a complaint for us, which I'll get into in a minute. But the guy shows up in about an hour, which is faster than the time that they quoted us, and he pulls off the tire, puts on a new tire, very professional about it. But right behind the tire is the exhaust pipe, and he says nothing about that. We didn't notice it because it was kind of hidden behind the wind skirt that goes around the truck. Well, we don't have any more real issues with the truck until we get home and we look at the side of it. And the exhaust pipe, and here's a picture of it, has been shooting exhaust into the side of the truck, and it melted through the skirt. So we had been driving with this fire hazard, essentially, shooting into the side of the truck. And I think that we were kind of lucky. We were driving back. It's like 95 degrees, and the truck isn't in really good condition with respect to the exhaust pipe. So we get it back and we turn it in. The U-Haul guy that we, or not U-Haul guy, but the U-Haul, the place that we dropped it off at wasn't like a standard U-Haul place. It was just some guy's garage, like mechanic garage. but he looked at it and he was like, oh yeah, this is definitely this other guy's fault. This isn't you guys. We're not going to charge you anything for it. We could offer you like $40 compensation, but I think you would rather talk to the the corporate office. I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So a few days later, after I've gotten back and unloaded the truck and turned it in and everything, I get a call from U-Haul, and they offer me about $140. To kind of put that in perspective, I kind of have some things here. The whole rental going down to Arkansas was about $1,100, a little over $1,100. I had the like kind of baseline roadside assistance, which was a fantastic decision. We had to stay an extra night or stay a night there, so that hotel was $80. Fuel was a little over $200. The trailer itself, within that like 1,100-ish, was about $160, and the insurance ran about $80 within that same thing. So they offered me $140, which I mean it barely even covers fuel. It's like a little over half of like a hotel thing. So I had asked, oh, could you do a little bit better? And they worked with me. So we got I think $280 back, which covers like fuel and hotel for the several truck problems and then the trailer problems. Now, and they were very nice about it on the phone, and so that experience was good. I'm just kind of sad that it was, it delayed us a day. They essentially covered the additional costs that we had, but didn't really do anything for the driving back in a potential fireball. So anyway, that was my experience with U-Haul. You can take what you want from it. They were very responsive on things, but definitely watch out for those type of problems, especially whenever roadside assistance comes by. Have them do just kind of a check around the car, so you don't have the dangers that we faced coming back. All right, thank you.